The Civil Society Budget Advocacy Group has commenced a wide range of discussions on the forthcoming national budget.
We are looking at three things specifically. One is that we appreciate government efforts in managing the economy. We know very well that they have managed the exchange rate. They have managed the inflation rate. We know government has already also put in place, passed the Public and Finance Management Act. We appreciate government efforts in working with the non-state actors, especially for state organizations like ourselves. And we also appreciate the government timely release of budget information that has enabled us at this particular point to engage government very effectively. But we also note that the number of challenges that are ahead. Number one is that our tax DGP ratio is the lowest in the region at 11%. We also know very well that the exchange rate our shilling is depreciating at a very high interest rate, at a very high rate. We also know that our exports are reducing in value and our imports are increasing. We also worry about supplementary budgeting, that towards the end of the financial year, supplementary budgeting has come close to 800 billion Ugandan shillings. And we feel that these challenges are facing our economy, especially another issue like absorption capacity of agencies. They don't spend all the money that they give them. That if these constraints are not addressed in this country as an economy, then we are going to have challenges in implementing the next coming financial year budget. However, in this analysis, we have noted a number of concerns. Number one is that we are seeing three sectors that are crucial to the livelihoods of citizens in this country being reduced. And that is education, that is health, and that is agriculture. Specifically on agriculture, we are seeing that the budget for NARO has dropped down by almost 49 billion Ugandan shillings. This is almost 149% reduction in the NARO budget.
This consultative forum comes at a time when the budget framework paper for the financial year 2015-2016 indicates critical cuts of key sectors of the economy.
And this speaks so strongly to the healthy system that is at the moment not delivering in protecting the lives of Ugandans. So questions are that what is it that the healthy sector is not delivering? Hopefully we'll get to hear in the different priorities under this sector. The agriculture sector already, there are indicators that they could be experiencing budget cuts, but we all knew that already it was underfunded, so if they have budget cuts, what would be their status within this sector in particular? The education sector, there are quite a number of issues that still emanate. You all remember that it benefited from microfinance that was specifically targeting teachers, but up to today, teachers are yet to receive the benefits of this microfinance in particular. So quite a number of issues remain at stake for the development sectors, the social development sectors within the budget.
A swift reaction from stakeholders like farmers has been that prioritizing the agricultural sector remains important.
We don't need sometimes to go to school, like us who have not gone to school to handle a hoe. You are born handling you got your father handling a hoe, and today you're also handling a hoe. So you don't need to go to school. So somehow there was some disagreement. So since then, up to date, we have not heard about it again. But it is of our interest as farmers. If government could establish such a bank where we can also get access credit at low interest compared to what the commercial banks are offering us, which we cannot afford, and it's even worse for women. We don't have security for such loans.
The Civil Society Budget Advocacy Group, which was at the center of this national conference on the budget framework paper, vouched for the youth within the spread of the proposed 18.3 trillion shillings budget.
Their constitutional responsibility to come up with a framework that defines how they're going to really invest in this huge population. So it's no longer a political case that, let's keep them demanding, and when they want it, then we'll say that, okay, give us the votes, then we'll pass the policy. The policy is long overdue. You cannot resolve issues of young people of the current 21st century using a policy of 20th century. There are so many things that have changed, and I think the time is now to pass the policy, pass the action plan, the Ministry of Finance go ahead and approve monies to finance, the policy. They should go ahead and, give the National Youth Council a separate budget vote, not to really lump them, in the broader gender ministry. Why is it that the Equal Opportunities Commission, which is a semi-autonomous entity like the National Youth Council, is getting a separate budget vote? And why are they covering the youth, actually a broader population within the gender ministry, which is really huge?
The first national dialogue on the budget framework paper for the new financial year has also hinted on the need to enhance supervision of the financial sector so as to tame the staggering interest rates.
We, however, would like to bring to the attention of government and other policymakers that there are a number of microeconomic challenges that we need to address. Prevalent high interest rates, that's number one. When we calculate, we found out that actually there is an 18.3% difference between lending rates and saving rates. Credit in Uganda is very expensive, and every business person here knows it. Even when you're not a business person and you're in your circle, you know that borrowing is very expensive. We would like government to increase regulation of the financial sector, to ensure that particularly commercial banks do not exceed 7 percentage points above or below the CBR rate. We know that whenever Bank of Uganda increases the CBR rate, commercial banks increase CBR rates. But when the CBR rates goes down, commercial banks don't follow it. And that is a very big...
Among others, the National Conference sought to generate input on proposals and alternative sources of government revenue for sustainable mobilization and utilization in the financial year 2015-2016.
What is surprising most of us as members of Parliament, definitely the time is getting short to peruse through the budget and even to discuss it on the plenary, since it has already been laid on the table. But for this particular conference we have been in, mostly on agriculture, me as a member of Parliament and a member of Finance Committee, definitely agriculture has been given the worst and the smallest budget that cannot even develop agriculture or improve agriculture. And yet in the manifesto of the president says that we have to modernize agriculture. But you cannot modernize agriculture with the whole and even with this mega budget that he is preparing. And remember, agriculture is the backbone of this economy. It is the backbone of this nation. And even we have a cooperative advantage over other exports. That's why even now the dollar is reducing, because we don't have exports from agriculture, and now the dollar rate is increasing because we don't have even exports where we can get some foreign exchange.
The new budget is projected at 18.3 trillion shillings, up from 15 trillion shillings in the current 2014-2015 budget.